Anatomy and physiology of the salivary gland. Topic is the anatomy and physiology of the salivary gland. It is like a revision class. We have studied in the anatomy, so we revise the anatomy and physiology of the salivary gland system. First, anatomy. Introduction. The salivary gland are divided into major and minor salivary gland. Major is the parotid, submandibular, and sublingual. These are the major, and minor are the there are minor. Numerous salivary glands are there, like labial or buccal glands, glossopalatine glands, palatine glands, and lingual glands. So salivary gland now divided into major and minor salivary glands. Okay. These are the location of the salivary glands: parotid, sublingual, and submandibular. These are the major sublingual glands. Salivary glands are, and these are the major salivary glands. Embryology. First we start anatomy from the embryology. The parotid glands are first to develop, followed by submandibular gland, and finally by the lingual glands. They are all developed till the 6 weeks of the intrauterine life. So फर्स्टमा प्यारोटिड आउँछ, त्यसपछि सबमेन्डिबुलर, त्यसपछि सबलिंगुअल. And parenchymal tissue, that is secretory tissue of the glands, arise from the proliferation of the oral epithelium. So the oral epithelium proliferates, and then the parenchymal tissue, which is the secretory tissue of the glands, they are developed. The epithelial buds of each gland enlarge, elongate, and branch, initially forming the solid structures. So initially they are branch, enlarge, and elongate, and branch, and branching of the glandular mass produces the arborization. The different segment of this gland, so that is known as arborization. Each branch terminates in one or two solid end buds. So elongation of the end buds follows, and lumina appear in the centers, transforming the end bulb into the terminal tubules. So these end bulbs finally develop into the terminal tubules. These tubules join the canalization duct to the periphery acini. At around 7 to 8 months in utero, secretory cell, that is acini cell, begins to develop around the ductal system. So first the ductal system develops, then the secretory cells develops. Now come to the adult parotid gland. It is the largest gland, composed of the serous acini, situated below the external auditory canal. It is situated just below the external auditory canal and lies in deep hollow behind the mandible, a finger width below the zygomatic arch. So this is the zygomatic arch. It lies just below the zygomatic arch, and this gland lies in the retromandibular groove, or behind the below and hollow deep in the just behind the mandibular gland. Okay, mandible, and weight is 24 to 28 gram in adult. So external features: it is a wedge shape. Encapsulated. This is capsulated by the cervical fossa, and facial nerve divided into two parts, superficial and deep. So facial nerve appears from the stylomastoid foramen up to in the face, and this facial nerve with its branch divide the parotid gland into superficial and the deep lobe. So it resembles the three-sided pyramid. It is a three-sided pyramid with the apex downwards. So it is a three-sided pyramid with the apex downwards. There are three borders: anterior, posterior, and one is deep to the gland, which is known as the medial border. And four surface: superior surface, this is the superior surface; superficial surface, this is the superficial surface; and medial border divides the inner surface into anteromedial and the posterior medial surface. Okay. So capsule is well-defined connective tissue with its superficial part lying in front of the ear and deeper part lying in the retromandibular group. So this gland is encapsulated into by the superficial fossa, cervical fossa. And its secretory duct is the extension duct, and it is a purely serous gland. It is a MCQ also. What type of gland is parotid gland? Serous, mucous, or mixed? Parotid gland is purely serous gland. Nearly 80% of the parotid gland is found in between the level of external canal. This level of the external canal between the mandible and the submandibular sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this is the SCM, sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is the mandible bone. So the level of the just below, just in front of the external canal, in between the mandible and the SCM, 80% of the tissue lies in this area, superficial to the posterior aspect of the masseter muscle. So it is superficial, posterior to this is the masseter muscle. It lies posterior to the masseter muscle. So cranial nerve 7, that is the facial nerve itself, and branches roughly divide, and its branch, the facial nerve and its branch divide roughly parotid gland into superficial lobe and the deep lobe, while coursing anteriorly from the stylomastoid muscle, stylomastoid foramen to the muscle of the facial expression. So this facial nerve arising from the stylomastoid foramen, it is branching into the two cervicofacial. This is the cervicofacial and this is the cervicotemporophacial. So these two branches, these two branches and other 5 branches arise from the facial nerve. So the whole of the facial nerve with its branches divide the parotid gland into 2 parts, the superficial lobe and the deep lobe. The remaining 20% of the gland extend medially into the parapharyngeal space through the stylomandibular foramen. There is a fossa which divides the stylo from styloid to the mandible, that is known as the stylomandibular ligament, and they form the stylomandibular tunnel. This stylotunnel, the 20% deep lobe lies in the stylomandibular tunnel. So tunnel is formed by the ventrally by the posterior edge of the ramus of the mandible, dorsally by the anterior border of the SCM and the posterior digastric muscle, and deep and dorsally by the stylomandibular ligament. So these 3 structures forms the stylomandibular tunnel, and in this stylomandibular tunnel, the deep lobe of the parotid lies. Now come to the parotid duct. It is known as the extension duct, arises from the anterior border of the gland, arises from the anterior border of the gland. It is 1.5 centimeter below the zygomatic arch. It pierces the buccinator at the buccinator. It pierces the buccinator and opens into the opposite the second molar teeth, and it is the 4 to 6 centimeter in length and 5 millimeter in diameter. At the anterior edge of the masseter muscle, this duct turns sharply into the medially, passes through the buccinator muscle, buccal mucosa, and opens into the oral cavity opposite the crown of the upper second molar teeth, opposite the crown of the maxillary second molar teeth. So it opens into the opposite the second molar teeth of the maxillary bone. Parotid fossa, gland encapsulated by the fossa facial layer that is the continuous with the deep cervical fossa. So it is the layer of the deep cervical fossa which encapsulate the parotid fossa, parotid gland, and the stylomandibular ligament, which is nothing but the portion of the deep cervical fossa, separates the parotid gland and the submandibular gland. So अर्को MCQ आयो यहाँ. What is the stylomandibular ligament? So stylomandibular ligament separates the parotid gland and the submandibular gland. What structure separates the parotid gland and submandibular gland? भनेर MCQ आउन सक्छ. Lymphatic parotid lymphatics. Lymphatics drain into the superficial and deep cervical lymph nodes. Preauricular lymph nodes in the superficial fascia drain the temporal scalp, upper face, and the anterior pinna. So lymph node within the gland drain the parotid gland, nasopharynx, palate, middle ear, and externatory meatus. So any infection, any tumor may be metastasis to the lymph node of the parotid gland. Right? Lymph node within the parotid gland drain from these areas, parotid, not only parotid gland, nasopharynx, palate, or middle ear. So nerve supply, preganglionic, parasympathetic fibers originate from the inferior salivary nucleus. It transmits through the glossopharyngeal nerve up to the tympanic plexus, then to the lesser petrosal nerve, then to the otic ganglion. From otic ganglion, secretomotor postganglion fiber originates, leaves the otic ganglion and distributes to the parotid gland via the auriculotemporal nerve. So it is the secretory. It gives the secretory sensation. It's secretion, secretomotor. Right? Parotid sympathetic innervation, postganglion innervation are provided by the superior cervical ganglion and distribute within the arterial system. So now come to the little bit of the facial nerve. The facial nerve emerges at the level of digastric muscle through the stylomastoid foramen. One landmark for the parotid surgery is this one. Main trunk divided into different branches, which is known as the pes arcerinus. It is the different branching of the facial nerve, which is known as the pes arcerinus, and there is an intraparotid plexus of the seventh nerve, and mainly the main trunk from the stylomastoid foramen comes out, and then it immediately divides into the upper temporal and facial, upper temporal, temporofacial, and the lower cervicofacial. So first two divisions, upper temporofacial and lower cervicofacial, and before it enters the gland, gives rise to the three branches. MCQ around success, posterior auricular, posterior digastric, and the stylohyoid branches. So these branches arise from the nerve after the nerve passes from the stylomastoid foramen, but before entering into the parotid gland. The retromandibular vein located within the substance of the gland and external carotid artery at the level of the gland. The external carotid artery divided into the superficial temporal and internal maxillary artery. So these are the landmarks. And a retromandibular vein, again, it is along with the facial nerve, and it divides it is in the substance of the parotid gland, and this also divides the parotid gland and external carotid artery at the level of the inferior level of the gland. The external carotid artery divided into the superficial and the internal maxillary artery. यिनीहरू चाहिँ MCQ मा आउन सक्छ त्यही हो. So parotid bed, the deep to the parotid lies the internal jugular vein, external and internal carotid artery, nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve, all last four nerves, glossopharyngeal, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And muscle, styloid process, styloglossus muscle, and the stylohyoid muscles. So these are the structures lies deep to the parotid gland, which is known as the parotid bed. Now come to the submandibular gland. This gland is also enveloped by the well-developed capsule. It is also capsulated. It is located in the submandibular triangle. behind and below the free border of the mylohyoid muscle, with its small extension lying above the mylohyoid muscle. So it is the just below and behind the mylohyoid muscle, but small extension lying above the mylohyoid muscle. It has the Wharton's duct, which opens at the lingual frenulum on the floor of the mouth. It has a mixed secretion, both serous and the mucus. A parotid gland is serous gland and submandibular gland is mixed gland. It secretes the serous discharge also and mucoid discharge also, mucoid saliva also. Right? So this is the structure of the submandibular gland. So this lies into the submandibular triangle. This is the mylohyoid muscle. And this is the extension duct into the opening going through the oral cavity in the floor of the mouth up to the oral cavity and opens into the by the sides of the frenulum, lingual frenulum. Blood supply of the submandibular gland is from the branches of the facial nerve and lingual artery and autonomic nervous system by the superior salivary nucleus to the nucleus intermediate seventh nerve, superficial superior. अग्ने parotid gland में चनी inferior salivary nucleus थियो, यसमा चनी superior salivary nucleus छ, and parotid में चनी ninth through the glossopharyngeal nerve थियो, यसमा चनी through the seventh nerve, through the chora tympani and through the lingual nerve into the submandibular ganglion. You have to differentiate between these two autonomic nerve supply of the parotid gland र submandibular gland. गाह्रो अलिकति डिफरेन्सिएसन गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ, याद गरेर पढ्नु पर्छ. Sublingual gland. It lies between the floor of the mouth and the mylohyoid muscle. It is composed of the large main part and small numerous glands. And the duct is the Bartholin's duct. कहिलेकाहीँ MCQ मा सोध्छ, Bartholin's duct is the duct of submandibular parotid or the sublingual, which opens within the or adjacent to the Wharton's duct. Bartholin's duct may open into the Wharton's duct, and it is also a mixed gland. Minor salivary glands, these are the present on the lips and cheeks and are of the mixed type. Labial and buccal glands, labial and buccal glands are the mixed type. They are found in the, as name suggests, in the lips or the buccal mucosa. Glossopalatine nerve, they are pure mucous glands. The location is the isthmus of the glossopalatine fold. So these glossopalatine glands are the mucous glands. Secretion is mucoid. Palatine gland, they are also pure mucus in the variety. They consist of hundreds of glandular aggregation in the lamina propria of the posterior lateral region of the hard palate. So they are found in the hard palate and in the submucosa of the soft palate and the uvula. So these are the palatine glands, and palatine glands are the mucus in nature. Lingual gland divided into anterior group and the posterior group. Anterior group is apex of the tongue and are of the mucus character, and posterior group are of the these lies mixed type. The duct opens on the ventral surface of the tongue near the lingual frenulum. Histology, cluster of cells in the form of acini and ductal system. Cells, it may be serous or mucus. Again, secretion कस्तो छ, cells कस्तो छ त्यो अनुसार secretion हुन्छ हैन. Ductal system, intercalated duct, striated duct and excretory ducts are there. Myoepithelial cells and connective tissue will be there. Now the physiology. Any question? Chake? Anyone? Any question? Yes. Now the physiology. These are the exocrine glands whose secretion flow into the oral cavity, and this secretion is known as the saliva, it is a film of fluid, its secretion goes into the oral cavity, so they are the exocrine gland. This saliva coats the teeth and mucosa and keeps the oral cavity moist. So saliva function coats the teeth and mucosa and keeps the oral cavity moist, maintain the well-being of the mouth, and deficiency the maybe xerostomia or decrease xerostomia or the decreased secretion of the saliva leads to the difficulty in eating, speaking, and swallowing, prone to the mucosal infection and the rampant caries. Caries pani rampant. There may be mucosal infection also, and there may be eating and speaking and swallowing difficulty. So function of saliva is divided into moist. It moistens the oral cavity, moistens and cools the food. Medium for the dissolved food, and it acts as the buffer. And digestive system, it has amylase and lipase, which causes the digestion. It has antibacterial property. These lysosomes, immunoglobulin A, peroxidase, and this flow causes the antibacterial activity. It also mineralization will be there, and they are also protective. There are also protective pellicles. Salivary gland divided into, according to saliva, these are divided into three groups: serous, which is mainly from the parotid gland, mucous, all gland except the parotid gland, and mixed type, submandibular gland and sublingual glands. So serous ma chani parotid matrai bhayo, mucous ma all gland, all the minor salivary gland except all the minor salivary glands, and mixed gland ma chani submandibular and sublingual glands. According to duct system, they are divided into simple and compound. So parotid, submandibular are the compound gland, and simple glands are the minor salivary glands. Secretion of the saliva, three types of secretion. Serous, mucous, and mixed type. Serous type, it has got the enzymatic actions. Tidine that consists of alpha amylase plus electrolyte causes the enzymatic action, and it is mainly secreted by the parotid gland. Mucous gland, all glands but not by the parotid gland. Right? Mucous secretion by the all gland but except the parotid gland. त्यो भनेको submandibular gland र sublingual glands, and they consist of the glycoproteins, highly viscous due to the mucin, and lubricates the mucosa and helps in the deglutition. So this mucus secretion are the highly viscous due to the mucin. So the chance of stone formation in the salivary gland is more in the submandibular gland. Physiology कारण यो एउटा पनि हो, अरूहरु पनि कारण हुन्छ, तर physiology कारण this mucus secretion is more mucoid in the submandibular gland, so there is chance of stone formation more in the submandibular gland. अरु anatomical factorहरु पनि हुन्छ, पछि पढाइन्छ त्यो चाहिँ. The ductal system, it consists of acini, intercalated duct, then the striated ducts, then the excretory duct, and opens into the oral cavity. So the extension duct and Warthin's duct are the excretory duct which opens into the oral cavity, and before this main duct forms, these are the acini drain into intercalated duct and then the striated ducts. Now composition of the saliva. So composition of saliva, water is 99%, electrolyte sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, calcium, magnesium, hypochloric acid, and then the selenium. These are the factors which are found in the saliva. Electrolyte, these are the electrolytes. Secretory proteins, amylase, proline-rich proteins, mucins, cystatins, these are the all which are present in the, these are the secretory proteins which is present in the saliva. And immunoglobulins, immunoglobulin A, IgG, and the IgM. These three immunoglobulins are found in the saliva. So, अर्को MCQ आउँछ यहाँ immunoglobulin which are present in the saliva, which are not present in the saliva भनेर. Small organic molecules like glucose, amino acid, uric acids, urea, and lipids are found in the saliva. Other components, insulin, cyclic AMP building proteins, epithelial growth factor, and serum albumin found in the saliva. These are the composition. Volume, each person's around saliva is secreted in each person around 600 to 1500 ml per day, and these are the distribution from the different glands. Resting one, whole 0.2 to 0.4 liter huncha, ml huncha, and then parotid 0.04 to and submandibular 0.1, and stimulation ma 2 to 5. And in parotid 1 to 2 per minute, and then 0.8 from the submandibular gland. So in resting stage, here resting stage the submandibular gland secretion are more, right? And in stimulated case, the parotid duct takes over from the submandibular gland. यतिकै secretion भइरहेछ oral cavity secretion, that is from the submandibular gland. अब खाना देखेर stimulus भयो, मिठो मिठो खाना पाकेको देख्यो भन्छ नि, then the stimulated, the salivary gland are stimulated, and in that case the parotid duct secretion will be more than the submandibular gland, right? And pH is 6.7 to 7.4, and in parotid 6 to 7.8, and submandibular gland is more alkaline. So stimulation of saliva, stimulated food and anticipation of the food. अगाडि food देख्यो अथवा पाकिरहेछ, मिठो बास्ना आयो भने, that is the taste and smell of the food causes the secretion, stimulation of the saliva, and that secretion is more is sour, then salt, sweet, and the bitter, right? And chewing causes the stimulation and originate from GI tract and the stomach. So these are the stimulation mainly from the food and anticipation food, and other is by the nature of the food, by chewing, and other stimulation from the GI tract. This is the class. Thank you. Any question? Yes. Hello. Thank you.